So I think a lot of women feel lonely and isolated, and it's funny, two kinds of, whether you're a working mom, let's take moms for example. Whether you're a working mom, you feel isolated or guilty because you're working all day and then rush to get the kids and then bring them to sports and then get home and try and fix dinner and get them to bed, and meanwhile at some point see your husband and you feel guilty and you feel like I'm the only one. And then the other side, you know, you could be a stay-at-home mom. I'm a stay-at-home mom and it's hard. I feel really lonely sometimes. I think, oh my goodness, I've been talking to toddlers for a week. Just get me out of the house. I need to see my friends. So I think that's something that's really hard for moms either way, is just feeling isolated and alone.
And I think that comes back to then having an actual conversation with someone could really open up the reality to be like, no, I'm not the only one who feels that way.
And could that be something spiritual, feeling I'm the only one dealing with this?
It's interesting because when someone has a miscarriage, that's a really extreme version of this, but when somebody has a miscarriage, I often hear that they have all these people come to them and say, hey, I had a miscarriage too. But until it's public knowledge that they lost the baby, nobody's like saying, hey, if you ever deal with this, I dealt with it, I'm here for you, because you want the best for people and you want to be positive and you don't want to rain on anybody's parade, so you don't communicate about it. But when it's like out there, and usually people are not putting on social media. This is the kind of an example of how it works best when you just say it in person. You don't usually put, I had a miscarriage on social media, but somehow when you have a miscarriage and you start to let that out because you have to, and people find out, they rally around you, and you find out you're not alone, and it does help with the pain. Okay, when we're isolated, I think it's the same thing. That if we don't tell someone, then we don't know that others are gonna say, you know what, I felt the same way, or I currently feel the same way. And there's just some comfort in knowing that, hey, I work all day, and I know I'm around adults all day, but I feel completely lonely because at work, like, I'm really gonna go into my issues, like I don't need to burden them. And we're all worried about burdening someone, and then we never go to anyone. So I think if we realize, Ecclesiastes says there's a season for everything, and there's a season to mourn, and there's a season to cry, and there's a season to laugh and to dance, and those don't come in the same seasons often. Sometimes they're years apart. And I think if we know we're not alone, that helps. And if we know, we just have to let it be known, because somebody might go, oh my gosh, we should like go to dinner or coffee, and that's all you needed. And you're like, that got me through 2 months. Well, good. You know, maybe we should have done coffee or dinner earlier.